Mummy, why are we taping red papers to the door? And why is Grandpa currently outside setting off enough explosives to alert the local Air Force?
Well, honey, it's because if we don't, a giant mountain-dwelling chimera with the head of a lion, the body of an ox, and a horn that can gore a tractor is going to come down here and eat us like a 20-piece McNugget. So good night, honey.
Is that you, Mr. Chimera? I'm wearing all red and my insides are also red. I will not taste good. Oh wait, you're the viewer who thinks Lunar New Year is just about red colors, fireworks that violate city rules, and awkward questions from your family about why you're still single and hasn't bought Google yet. And if you think that's all this holiday is, yeah, we really need to talk. Because Lunar New Year's actually didn't start as a celebration, it started as a warning. Hello Internet pals, it's that time of the year again. It's that window between late January and mid-February, well actually it's already mid-February, where the moon basically tells a quarter of the world's population to drop everything and go home. You'd think the traffic on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is bad? Huh, imagine that, but multiplied by 500. We are talking about the biggest human event on the planet. We are talking about the Lunar New Year's. Considering it's such a big event, it's surprising how few videos there are about it. So hopefully this video can change that and not be another flop. Wow wow. Today, we are peeling back the red paper to show you the truth. So grab your Hong Bao because we are going to get real hungry this Lunar New Year's. Let's get to the basic. For those who don't know, Lunar New Year is the festival that marks the start of a new year on the lunar calendar. But wait, did you catch that? The lunar calendar, unlike the Gregorian calendar, you know, the one currently hanging on your wall with pictures of dogs and sunglasses that says January 1st is the start of everything. Yeah, the Lunar New Year is a little bit cooler. It follows the cycles of the moon. That means the date changes every single year. But why the moon? Back in the days, if you were a farmer, which, let's be honest, was 99% of the people, the moon would be your GPS and your clock for the year. You planted by it and you harvested by it. But don't expect a one and done fireworks show like your typical 4th of July. Oh no, Lunar New Year's is a 15-day marathon. It all starts on New Year's Eve, which technically makes it 16 days. Oh well, you get the point. It starts with the reunion dinner. This is the dinner where family members travel back home just to eat together. You're going to see a lot of dumplings and a lot of fish because we are incredibly superstitious. In Chinese, the word for fish sounds like surplus, so we eat it hoping our bank accounts feel the same way. Once the 15-day marathon officially begins, things get busy. I'll list the highlights here, but if you want a full deep dive of the 15 days, check out the sources I've linked below. On the first day, you head out to visit your elders. This is the prime time for Hong Bao, those red envelopes filled with cash, but you never actually get to keep them. If you know, you know. Also, whatever you do, don't touch that broom. We believe that sweeping the floor on day 1 literally sweeps your luck out. As I said, we are incredibly superstitious. Day 2 is traditionally the day for married daughters to visit their parents. Though these days, most of us just visit our close relatives such as our uncles and aunties and maybe put on more weight. Then boom, day 15. This is the grand finale, the Chap Gourmet. It's the night of the first full moon of the year. The sky fills with glowing lanterns and everyone eats tang yuan, which is a sweet round rice balls that represents togetherness. On the surface, it sounds like a dream, right? Everyone's eating, everyone's getting red envelopes, and everyone's having fun. But what if I told you it didn't start that way? What if all this fun tradition were actually born out of pure terror? Enter the Beast. No, not Mr. Beast. The Beast is the chimera that we mentioned earlier. If you've ever seen a lion dance perform at a parade and wondered to yourself, why does the lion has a horn of a unicorn? Well, that's because it does. Depending on who you ask, the beast goes by a few different names. Most call him Nian, but some call him Si, but regardless of his name, the story remains the same. And the story goes like this. In ancient time, there was a monster named, let's call him Nian in this story. He dwelled deep in the sea all year round and only show up every New Year's Eve to feast on the people and livestock in nearby villages. That is, until an old man arrived to save the day. Now, how could an elderly man take on Nian, a literal apex predator? Well, you see, Nian had 3 specific weaknesses that the old man exploited. First, Nian is afraid of the color red, so the old man taught the villagers to paste red paper on their door and wear red clothes. This is exactly why, even thousands of years later, Lunar New Year is permanently synonymous with the color red. Second, remember that Nian lived in the sea, which is a place that is perpetually dark. His eyes were likely evolved for high sensitivity in low light environment, meaning to say he was basically a walking set of night vision goggles. Knowing that, the old man taught the villagers to light lanterns and torches, which is why we light lanterns as well during Chinese New Year's. And finally, Nian is also afraid of loud noises. So the old man showed the villagers how to burn bamboo, which created a sharp popping crack when the air pockets inside explode. And this is what we call firecrackers today. On top of that, we play the drums too, in case the Nian beast wasn't deaf yet. If you haven't seen a lion dance in person before, you should definitely check one out. Here's a snippet of it. But you know what else Nian is afraid of? Yeah, that big red subscribe button. Quickly press it now for a year's worth of good luck. And that's why New Year's Eve is known as Chu Si. It's called Chu Si because Chu means to get rid of in Chinese, and Si, well, Nian, they have the same name. Long story short, Chu Si means to get rid of the beast. Wait. Did you think the money was just a bribe to get you to sit through a 4-hour dinner with your relatives? And at the end of the day, you can't even keep it? In Mandarin, these red envelopes are called 红包, also known as 压岁钱. Now, if you translate that literally, it sounds like money to press down your age. But it wasn't actually meant to press down your age at all. It was meant to press down demons. Because, again, according to the law, the Nian wasn't the only thing bumping in the night. There was also a demon called Sui. Sui didn't want to eat you. He was much weirder than that. He would show up on New Year's Eve and touch children on the head while they slept, which would give them a massive fever and make them mentally impaired. Man, what a creep. To fight back, parents started giving their children 8 copper coins wrapped in red paper to keep under their pillows. The idea was to keep the children distracted and awake, but we humans get tired, so eventually we fall asleep. Well, the good news is, it turns out those 8 copper coins were actually the 8 immortals in disguise, secretly standing guard over the child. Because the word for demon, sui, and the word for age, sui, are homophones, which means they sound the same, the name gradually evolved over centuries into 压岁钱 as we know today. Thus, the tradition of giving red envelopes too. Surely there can't be more horrors, right? Oh man, you have no idea. The major horrors have been settled, but the Lunar New Year still have some terrors lurking in the fine print. I call it the precaution needed to take, because you never know what you're gonna get. Take day 3 for example. In some tradition, this is the Red Dog Day. And no, we're not talking about a cute Clifford situation. The red dog here is the god of the blazing wrath. If you go outside and run into him, man, you're looking at a year of poverty and bad luck. So, to avoid that, day 3 is a culture-wide stay-at-home order. To me, it feels like people are just tired from the parties on day 1 and day 2, so they use a fire-breathing dog as an excuse to sleep in. And then there's the kitchen god. Every year, right before the New Year start, this deity who has been living in your kitchen all year like a divine nanny cam heads up to heaven to report on your behavior. You can call him Santa Claus cause he sees you when you're sleeping and he knows if you're good or bad. If he says you've been bad, he snitches on you. So how do you get to his good side? You bribe him, just like the real world. And I thought deities are supposed to be all noble and stuff. First, you got to have his statue or at least his portrait in the kitchen. And when it comes close to Lunar New Year's, you smear sticky honey on the lips of the kitchen god statue. We are literally trying to glue a god's mouth shut so he can't snitch on us. But here is where the theory gets dark. In the tales of Chu Si, the one about the chimera, just in case, the kitchen god was said to be the old man who came to save the village. So, did the kitchen god send the chimera to attack the village just so he could save them and look like the hero? Is the entire holiday just a 3,000-year-old protection racket so he can get free snacks and a permanent spot in your house? Think about it. He watches you all year, leaves right before the monster shows up, and then reappears with all the answers. Look, with all the dissing I've done today of these deities and demons, I'm pretty sure my luck for the year is already down the gutter. But hey, if anything, I hope I can be the one to absorb all your bad luck. I'll take the heat so you can enjoy the festivals. There's so much to talk about Lunar New Year's. As a matter of fact, I haven't even touched about the different countries celebrating this differently, like how the Vietnamese zodiac features a cat instead of a rabbit. Oh yeah, the zodiacs too. Or how Malaysia has Yi Sang, the prosperity toast where you throw a salad into the air for luck. And how the Kung Si Kung Si song used to be about World War II. Wait, did I just say World War II? Yes, you heard that right. That super catchy song you hear blasting in every mall during Lunar New Year's, it wasn't originally written for the Chinese New Year at all. It was written in Shanghai in 1945 to celebrate the end of the war. When people were singing congratulations, they were congratulating each other for surviving the war. So just remember, whether you're wearing red just because it looks good on you or because of a 3,000-year-old survival tradition, you are participating in one of the, if not the biggest festival in the world, and you should be proud of it. We're still here, we're still celebrating, and we're still outsmarting the darkness. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great year. 恭喜发财，万事如意. If you didn't know about this history behind this tradition, or find this video interesting, share this with your friend. It helps me out a lot. And hey, maybe I'll get to absorb some of their bad lucks too. Okay, thank you again, and peace out.